Paul, welcome. I'm not sure if I should say Paul or Peter. Which one do you prefer? Any. Paul, yes. Welcome to Climate Talk Uganda.
Yes, thank you so much. I'm glad to be here and to share this topic.
Please introduce yourself better than I introduced you. Yeah. Tell me your name, which district or town that you're coming from.
My full name is Okullo Paul Peter. I'm the Managing Director of the Adag-Anii Limited. Our office is situated in Lira City, in a place called Rainbow, Duku Road. It is situated in Ireda East, Lira City East Division, Lira City. Then our production unit is in Bokagali, in Ireda East Parish, in the Lira City East Division, Lira City. Mainly, we are doing agribusiness, and we have taken on the enterprise cocoa. We are operating along the whole value chain, right from the farm establishment up to the market. It entails a lot of things. We prepare farmers. First of all, we orient farmers into cocoa production, and when they feel they're ready, we can now support them in establishment. Then we go with them through the management, and then we go to them to harvest, post-harvest, and marketing.
You get the market for their cocoa?
Yeah, we already have an off-taker of cocoa. And for the operation, our area of operation, we're in Lango sub-region. All the districts in Lango, we're operating in it. Some part of Acholi, mainly our center is in Nwaya district, Omoro district, Gulu, Lamuo, and some part of Pade. Then some part of Teso. We are in Soroti district. We have few farmers in Soroti district, few farmers in Kaberamaido district, few farmers in Otuboi, that is Galaki district. We have a client who comes from Karamoja. It is in the district of Kapielebiong. That one has planted 10 acres. So all these areas we are operating to support farmers to make sure that they benefit in the cocoa value chain, and also they do the practice that can save, that can be preserved for the future. You know, when you go anyhow, given the climate change of nowadays, and you do unwanted practices, the next generation may not get the soil and agriculture profitable. So we have got all the packages to make sure that they reach the end of the value chain while conserving and preserving the environment.
You have answered almost every question I had for you in just this introduction, Paul.
So I'm
going to keep taking you back and forth.
Exactly.
What does Adag-Anii mean?
Okay.
And the reason I ask is because from my last visit, I had a number of rumors about what it is. So I'm very curious.
Adag-Anii, if you're interpreting it directly, means that we don't want rumors. We don't want rumors, we want work. But the name came because originally where we are situated the farm used to be a horticulture farm established by my late father in 1982. So that time, the community would come to work in the farm. But you know, when the community is working, there are always rumors, there can even be fight. The following day, you get them in the local council court. So when Muzee realized that what is bringing problem to the community was being discussed in his farm, he warned them never to come with their rumors in his farm. They leave the rumors out, they come and work to the farm, then they go back to their rumors. So the community named the farm Adag-Anii.
What was it called before?
Before, there was no name yet.
Okay.
So the name that the community used to know the farm is, I'm going to work in Adag-Anii. Then Muzee automatically registered the farm Adag-Anii. And even right now, for us, we don't want Anii. We want the work to be done. Yes.
So they say I'm going to work in a place where they don't want us to sit and gossip and
yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. You've mentioned the places where a number of your farmers come from. Largely, what's the size of land that these farmers have? Your farmers.
Okay, it is very funny. For us, we have embodied all the categories of farmers. There are some farmers with 1 acre of land. There are some farmers with 5. But averagely, most farmers are between 5 to 10 acres, averagely. But we have some farmers who has planted cocoa up to the tune of 45 acres. Yeah. But the others that are planting like about 100 seedlings, and they're maintaining it. Depends on the capacity. But averagely, if I had to say, most of the farmers have 2 acres. Okay. Even those ones that are planting, that have planted like 100, they're planning to expand because they have a small capacity to maintain them. So they're enrolling like every year 100. Others are also planning for 50, 70. According to our database, but they're continuing to plant. And if you can see, most of the smallholders, they're planning to have at least 1 acre of cocoa.
Does that 1 acre of cocoa make a difference?
Yes, it makes a difference.
Give me an example of what that difference looks like.
Okay, if you calculate it well, if the cocoa is now mature, that will mean in about 5, 6, 7, 8 to 10 years, this farmer cannot get something less than 30 million in a year.
Okay.
Yeah.
On
given the
1
current,
acre?
On 1 acre, given the current price. Because if you interview most of the farmers who are old farmers, for us, we started in 2021. But when you go to areas where farmer, like in Bunibuju, where farmers have like a plant of even 40 years, 50 years, 30, 20 years, you get that a farmer with 1 acre of land is not getting something less than 50 million in a year.
Wow.
Yeah.
How do you... So help me understand a farmer who does not have cocoa and is doing, I don't know, maize or something else, and a farmer who has cocoa, just for people to understand the value of what cocoa is doing for these smallholder farmers.
Okay, cocoa is a perennial crop, meaning that you just plant it once and you don't repeat planting. By doing that, there's already a reduction in the cost of production. You buy seedlings once, you plow once, you open the land once, you plant it. Then when you start reaping, every year you'll be harvesting this some good amount from your field. But the farmer who has planted like maize, say for instance, you have planted like 777, it is annual crop that takes like about 4 months. Every 4 months, you're going back to the drawing board. Assuming that the climate change has affected the field production, you can even get less kilograms that cannot recover your cost of production. But for cocoa, a perennial crop, you just inject a lot of capital in the first year. And by the way, cocoa, you spend much of your time and your resources in the first year. From the second year onwards, the plant is already established and it is already big enough. And in our region, currently, we are taking 18 months. Then you start seeing the flower. For instance, people planted in 2021, we visited them, all of them are already harvesting cocoa. And before this meeting, we were discussing with the ICAM chocolate how to do the offtake. So we are going to put a fermentation unit at our center, a drying unit, and then there will be money put into our account to offtake for the ICAM chocolate. Yeah. So the market is clear. But for maize, there's a lot of fluctuation. If these Kenyans have not come during election, they're fearing to come, the price dropped. Can even come up to 400 a kilo. Then also the yield keeps on fluctuating depending on the weather. And also with the maize, it's very difficult to go organic. There are a lot of pests. And farmers nowadays, they have gone very, very lazy. They're even using herbicide to weed their maize. All those are cost of production. But at the end of it all, you find out that you're deteriorating, you're depreciating your land. You might eat everything from your land, your descendant and your grandchildren will find nothing in the land. So there's a very big difference with that. Then also advantage with cocoa is that it conserves the environment. The practices like the mulching, the pruning, the cover crop, the permanent shade trees we are planting, those are environmental conservation. So it is very, very important that at least if you have like about 5 acres, put 1 acre for cocoa. You're going to benefit the money. You're going to benefit income. Then even the food security, because we planted them with a cover crop, like bananas. Right now we have plenty of bananas in the region. Then also you're going to conserve the environment. Yeah, you see, you'll be helping even the community or the world at large.
When you speak about the climate changes, and you hinted at that, what changes have you seen in your region that make it worthwhile for someone to invest in cocoa?
One, the effect of climate change. We have seen prolonged drought, and even the drought which is very harsh. We have seen that is the effect of climate change. Then also floods. At times there's excessive water flooding, and also affects what? The environment. But if you see from 2021 up to now, the acreage that the farmers that got seedlings from us within the region, if I compute by now, they already planted 1,830 acres, 0.376. That is the forest planted under this project.
Wow.
Cover temporary shade is there, which is bananas, and then the permanent shades are there. So if you see from 2021 up to now, the climate is temporarily changing. It's not so much harsh like it used to be. Even yesterday when I was leaving Lira, it has rained. Yeah, this is a dry spell. We experienced a dry spell around this time. Even last night, it has been reported to me that there was a lot of rainfall across the region, not only in Lango, even in the Choli. So this means that the fruit of what we are doing is taking shape.
When you speak about the permanent shade trees, which ones are you talking about? So you start your cocoa with bananas.
Okay.
Matoke.
You start your bananas with your cocoa with the matoke to keep the temporal shade when it's still young. But we also plant a permanent shade, which is mainly we're encouraging farmers to plant musisi. Your musisi, it grows very tall and form a canopy from up. By doing that, it gives cocoa opportunity to grow under it without any big effect of the shade. But from up there, musisi will be protecting it from big storms and even wind and even the ash, the scorch sunshine. Yeah, so that is it. So by doing that, you are planting a forest.
So you're telling me, who is a smallholder farmer with 1-2 acres, that I should plant cocoa?
Yeah.
And where am I getting the food for today? Can I plant it with my cocoa?
Yeah. Actually, when cocoa is still young, 1 to 3 years, it accommodates the growth of other plants like mainly beans, nuts, soya beans. And we were encouraging farmers also to grow like maize, but we have found out that maize accommodates a lot of pests, especially the fall armyworm. And we're telling our farmers to use organic method. But fall armyworm, when you come to methods like integrated pest management, you can't control it well. We are still doing a lot of research to make sure that it is controlled. But other crops like even the vegetables, tomatoes grows very well under cocoa, cabbages and onions, and even the red pepper. So you can put your 1 acre, cocoa will be there. You'll be getting your beans, you'll be getting your vegetables and other crops. And also matoke there. It's very good food. Right now, if I to say a picture of, I've been doing a field visit, you see a lot of bananas. There's a field we went to last week. We found that farmers harvested 43 bunch of matoke, just going to the market just one day. There's a doctor I normally quote. He's called Dr. Isaac. Last year, he sold all the banana bunches. He sold to the tune of 13 million. Wow. Then the banana suckers is selling this year like nothing. So by doing that, you'll be benefiting before starting the real harvest from cocoa.
I visited one of your farmers, Millie.
Emily.
And she just pulled out all her bananas and was just feeding us bananas and bananas. She was very excited. Yes. How is she doing?
Millie is doing very well. We visited her last time when the team went. Our field is doing very well. Good enough. Our cocoa is now producing the pods. And she's among the farmers we're preparing the money for.
Wow.
We were discussing with our family, we were seeing the magnitude, how much it should inject to buy the cocoa from Lango and Acholi and Karamoja Teso.
When did cocoa come into Lango, for example? Not even the entire northern region, but just Lango.
Lango. For me, I thought I was the first person to introduce the cocoa in Lango. But then one day I had a radio talk show. Then the person who first introduced cocoa in Lango sub-region called me. This is a former commissioner of agriculture called Mr. Pell. The other name I'd forgotten. Mr. Pell told me that he introduced the cocoa in Lango in 2009. He gave to farmers, but he didn't follow up. But when I made the follow-up, I found the cocoa he distributed were doing very well. They're big trees now, but the farmers were not linked to the market. Now what they are doing, they are just chewing the juice, eating it, they're enjoying that, and they have not managed it well. They're wild, not pruned, but they're producing a lot of pods. So that was when the cocoa was introduced in Lango. He gave people in the area of Amach and Bar sub-county. Yeah. You know, Pell was the first director of Oloeng irrigation scheme, and Oloeng is located in those two sub-counties. But what he did, if he had followed up, right now that enterprise could have been spread along entire sub-region. You know, with agricultural enterprises, if you don't link them to the market, farmers take it to be subsistent or something for domestic use. But if he had linked them with the market, or if he has popularized it, right now the entire region could have been filled with that.
So that was 2009 when he started?
2009, yeah.
And you started in?
2021.
Okay. And so what are you doing different? You're giving extension services, and besides the, I know that you're now linking the farmers to market, but what else are you doing?
Okay. Before starting with the cocoa, the company was doing rice as the biggest enterprise. And our strategy was that we would integrate community groups into rice production, and then we called them the outgrowers. That time, we would get a market, because we also produce seeds for rice. We would get a market.
Do you have seeds for super rice? I'm really looking for super rice. Yes. Please continue what you were saying.
I'll tell you. Yeah. So we were doing that with the farmers. We would get a market for the rice, be it seeds or grain. Then we get the farmers groups. We train them. After training them, we give them the input. You know, when you're producing the seed, you need to get a foundation seed. We go to NAR, we get it, then we produce together with them with the best practices that can make the seed with a good standard and quality needed in the market. or even the grain like that. So we already had that system set. Now when we come to cocoa, and by the way, we left rice because we were encroaching on the wetland. We were destroying. When you're going commercial, you need to cut a lot of trees. So we found out that our business was affecting the environment. So when I saw cocoa from West Africa, when we went for the Science Week in Ivory Coast, I came back to Uganda, then I started making a research. I found that this is a new enterprise that when I'm going to introduce it to the community, I need to give a full package along the value chain. So the first thing for the quality control is a good source of planting materials, of which we research, and we came out with a conclusion from the ICAM, who's the off-taker. Then we went to the management. We found out that there might be people who may need to plant cocoa and they don't have time. They're in the office. We created a labor force. We recruited 49 youth. We trained them on the cocoa establishment. We made them available for hire. Then,
where are those 49 youth?
They're there within the region.
Okay.
Even last night when I was about to sleep, somebody called me that, where are you? I said, I'm in Kampala. Can I get some boys to come and help me prune my cocoa? I just called them and connected them. They went. We already set the pricing of each and every activity. For instance, when they're like digging the hole, a hole of 2 by 2 feet, they charge 400 shillings. When they're planting a cocoa with the bananas, they plant at 200. It's a standard across. So they'll do the quality work.
So you just need to accommodate them, feed them, and then pay that.
Yes, then you pay that. So we made that one available. Then, with the help from ICAM Chocolate, we were able to train 3 extension workers with me included. I'm also a field person. So they train us on the management, field training. We were brought here in Kampala for 2 weeks. Then we were taken to Oima for another 2 weeks. So we were exposed to the diseases, other management, what, the details. Now we are there to make a follow-up to the farmers. Then now, from there, when the palladium came in, we were enrolled on the climate smart job. There are things that were missing. We were not emphasizing on the climate smart practices. So we also build our capacity on that. And that's why if you see from 2021, many farmers were failing. But when we started the engagement with the climate smart job, we integrated best practices to tackle the stresses that come along the season.
Give me an example.
For instance, the mulching. Mulching is a very good activity that can help the farm to survive the dry season. If you use the proper mulch material and then you use the proper quantity, then you'll be, when the sun is very hot, you may need to water your farm once a week only, and you can survive. That is one. Yeah. So those practices help us to make our farmers survive during the harsh conditions. Yeah. Then also they came and gave us materials for our farmers, for our extension workers to read and handle the farmers. Another thing is that we didn't know that farmers would benefit from the carbon credit. It was a palladium who came, gave us a consultant. We profiled the farmers. We are now entering the carbon market. And we didn't know that when you plant a cocoa, you're conserving the environment. You're playing a very good role. So this makes farmers proud that they're also participating in making sure that the world become a better place to live, even have their children to come and benefit from their practices. So this is a very good encouragement. And as a farmer, when you go to profile, after giving seedlings, after advising, then you see them profiling digitally taking those polygons of the field, then you tell them that this is the purpose why we are profiling you. It becomes very, very motivative to them, and they make sure that the crops survive and they continue making better practices. And also the same profiling we were discussing with the off-taker. You know, we are supposed to satisfy our farmers to meet the EUDR and also organic.
What's EUDR?
You don't cut the trees, you keep the environment. It's a regulation made by the European Union. Huh?
This is the European Union deforestation regulation.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, that is it. So we were even using the same data. We found it's compliant for our buyer to use the same data to register farmers for certification of organic. You know, for them, we are selling our product to them as organic product. So the same data that Palladium has given us to profile the farmers will be also beneficial to us for the certification process. Yeah.
So you were a rice farmer.
Yep.
Then somehow you got interested in cocoa when you went to West Africa. And you came and just flipped the entire farm.
Yeah. You know, when we were doing rice, around 2018, 2019, we used to go to West Africa on the program of African Rice Center. They used to call it Science Week. We go and display technologies of rice, research being done, then the materials being tested, then the product and market of rice. We discuss it during the Science Week, where you get the scientists, we get the farmers, we get the companies, we get the seed companies, we get the students who are in rice. We converge together. Then they make presentations. We learn from each other. We get connection. So from 2017, we were going to West Africa. But back here in Uganda, rice was getting a problem with the Office of the President. The President said the rice is encroaching on the wetland, or which is even true. And the area where we work, we have only one place gazetted for the rice, and that is the Lueng rice scheme. So we cannot now do business. But before, we were doing business with farmers who were planting rice in the swamps. So now when we go to other places other than Lueng, you'll be getting problem with the government. So we thought of getting another enterprise so that our company can also survive. And also realizing that we have been a participant on environmental degradation, we also need now to participate in rejuvenating the environment. And cocoa became a very good alternative, the better one.
What attracted you to cocoa?
Cocoa, you know, rice was also a lucrative crop. A rice farmer also is somebody who handles millions of ceilings. So what I wanted alternative
that kept you in the same bracket.
Something of high value. So I would see, I'd not studied a lot on coffee, but after seeing those farmers in West Africa and hearing that testimony and seeing how the economy is doing, especially in Cote d'Ivoire where we were going, I came back and said, no, let me go and see whether our land can also be suitable for cocoa production. So when I landed into those books, I found that our land is 100% suitable, given the temperature, given the location from equator, given the annual rainfall, given the annual temperature. We qualify. Even the wind speed, we qualify. So the only thing I was remaining with was the market. Then when I researched, I found out that there's a company who needs a lot of cocoa, and they're encouraging other people, other regions to produce cocoa. So I went to ICAM. We discussed with him. Then he told me all the dynamics of cocoa production in the region, not in other places. Then we accepted. Then we started. But we started with a lot of difficulties. Destroying one business, getting another business that will benefit you later. because they told me that the full benefit will come like after 5, 6, 7 years. Then I see the. So we were there. We started going to the radio, campaigning, telling people, going to the churches. There would be a lot of questions. A lot of questions. Then few people in that year, 2021, 108 acres was planted in Lango by 94 farmers. In Acholi, 88 acres was planted by 65 farmers. So that one gave us a basis.
But what were the initial worries for these farmers with cocoa?
No, some of these farmers were exposed. They had been hearing about the cocoa. Some of them have read about them. Some of them are even government workers. They didn't had one farmer told me that he had thought of planting cocoa earlier, but he was not exposed to the technology of cocoa production. So by taking it there and by assuring them that I'm going to handle, the company is going to handle the whole value chain. And also what also helped me, Mr. Fabio went immediately.
That's from ICAM.
ICAM. He went with some staff there. He met the farmers who have grown. He encouraged them. So by doing that, farmers got motivated and they have that vigor. But for us in the company, we were just draining down. I remember I even sold my car. Because at first we wanted so many farmers to plant and we gave out a lot of credit out.
You didn't give free seedlings?
I didn't give free seedlings. So that one also gave me a lesson. I gave other farmers on credit, and that year I gave a credit out up to the tune of 14 million. So the people who got seedlings on credit, they never managed their field, and all the seedling died. And they have no justification to pay me. But people who paid cash, they maintained their field, and that one gave me a lesson. Somebody who is serious will never get anything on credit. And even up to now, a farmer can say that, give me on credit, although we have cancelled that arrangement. But there are some people who had been planting, who had been buying earlier. When you give them on credit again, they don't manage. So that one also brought us down a bit. So by 2022, we were not very strong, and some of my staff were very demoralized. They even leave. They left the company. They went to get the jobs otherwhere, in other places. Some few of us, we continued. In 2023, we didn't produce the seedlings. We were broke. But we were making follow-up on the farmers who had already planted. And something happened. The people who managed their cocoa well, they sold the pods, and I can bought them. 2024, the entire community now came back. So we were so much successful. Now we again had very little fun to raise enough seedlings for the region. I came to ICAM and they said, okay, we're now going to support you. They lend us some money and we produce. So people expanded. And right now, if you go to the region, there's a talk of cocoa.
How much is a seedling?
It's 1,000.
What's the age of that seedling?
It should be 4 months.
4 months. Okay.
1,000 is a little bit higher for the ordinary farmers. But for us, we cannot charge below that because that is the money we are getting to do the extension service, money we are getting to run the company. Unless otherwise, when the quantity being bought is now bigger, we are arranging the commission between the company and the off-taker. That's what we have been discussing before coming here. So one time I was thinking that if somebody or some organization or even the government can come and subsidize, they pay probably half. They pay for the farmer, then they make the farmers pay half.
Maybe the farmers won't take the...
No. If you come with the arrangement of free seedlings, No. I normally advise you. There's a group called, there's a ministry called the Kingdom Network. For them, they came to us and said, we want to create a cocoa village. And by the way, they're so much successful. They're creating a cocoa village in Aleptong. But for them, they're giving farmers free seedlings. The first time I told them that if you give them free seedlings, you're going to have a problem. So they saw it. Now they've changed their strategy. A farmer must make sure that he's providing a temporal shade, which is a banana. And for them, they're going to give a free seedling. So it means that there's a win-win situation there. So a farmer who has already committed the temporal shade and they have proven that they're having it, they can now give them free seedlings, then they maintain. But in the first year, people, the village near Leptong Town Council, they did it very well because our extension worker, one of them was attached to them to make sure that they do a good job. But there's another one called Zinabia. Only I can say that only 60% did very well. Now they've incorporated that strategy. But that cocoa village, I thought, okay, the way I've looked at it, it is a very good strategy. You go to a village, then you get everywhere is cocoa, is cocoa. It's even very easy for the extension worker to go and concentrate in one place like that.
What do farmers usually need for a start when they what do they need help with when they're starting to grow cocoa?
One is the knowledge. You give the farmer knowledge, then you tell them the investment requirement needed. Like the most important one is a suitable land. Cocoa do very well in the deep loam soil or sandy loam soil, not in the swamp, not in the rocky place. Then two is skills for planting. The farmer need to be trained how to plant it appropriately. Then three is the planting materials. Planting materials, this is seedlings. In our region there, we have seen two varieties doing very well. Forastero variety and Trinitario variety. Other variety like Criollo, they don't do it well there. So a farmer need to know that. Then the farmer now need to have somebody to support him. Extension service need to be available to him. Actually, there's an argument, which is even true, that a successful cocoa farm is equal to 4P. The first P is planning. You need to make sure that during your planning, you even have this investment material I'm talking about, like the land, the labor, the planting materials. You need to plant well. And the time, that is during planning. When are you going to plant it? Then the source of the planting material. That's the first P. The second P is planting. If you plant cocoa anyhow, you are not going to succeed.
What do you mean anyhow?
Okay, you need to dig the hole well. You need to space it well. We need to put the necessary materials like the organic manure beneath the hole. Then there's a joint of cocoa. We call it a collar, where the cotyledon normally falls from. If you're planting your cocoa, you need not to cover that joint. If you cover that joint, it's not going to continue giving new leaves. It will be there. That is proper planting. Then the second P, the third P is pruning. Cocoa produces a lot of leaves, but when you leave it to grow wild, people say that cocoa does its own family planning. If you leave it to go so bushy like that, it is going to take all the nutrients to feed the leaves and the branches. So when you see that it is time now for it to start giving flowering stage, you need to come and remove the minor branches and unwanted leaves. But there's a formula of pruning cocoa. Now at 1 meter, cocoa forms a junket of branches like this, which is always more than 3. They're normally around 5, 6, or even 7. So you identify 3 straight ones, then you leave them, then the other one you remove them. Yeah. So by doing that, you'll be making the mother plant to preserve the food for the children. But it keeps on flowering. If the cocoa found out that it doesn't have enough nutrient to feed the children, it aborts. You have a lot of flower boson, a lot of cherries boson, and it remains with only the ones capable of feeding. So that is a third P, that is pruning. Then the last one talks about the profit. There is now marketing. Marketing. You need to be attached to a particular company that is giving higher prices. Other than you can even get loss from there when a third person come and buy from you, or a middle buyer, a middle of a middle buyer. So we talk about the profit by connecting to the right market. And for this case, we want to form the farmers. We are already forming the farmers into a cooperative. We already registered the cooperative called the Upper Nile Organic Cooperative Society Limited, of which I'm the vice chairperson. I didn't want to be in a cooperative, just wanted to be at the production level. But then the farmer said, all this knowledge, if you leave the cooperative, is like we had nothing. So we have been even discussing with the off-taker about the cooperative. Yeah. So the cooperative has come up. We have not yet enrolled all the farmers into it. But with time, we are enrolling the farmers because according to him, certification can only take place with a maximum of 2,000 farmers. But right now, we have 370 farmers.
Oh.
So we need now to start another cooperative. But according to his advice, we're going to put farmers into, according to the year you planted.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Those were 4.
Those are 4 P's.
Okay. When we speak about climate change and seeing how it's affecting yields and seasons, what does resilience look like for cocoa farmers in your network?
Okay. One, we already know that climate change effect is already there, and the farmers are seeing by their hand. In our trainings, we are making them to know the remedies of the climate change. Like I was telling you, we have the climate smart practices where they're doing the mulching, where they're doing organic manure, whatever application to their cocoa. We have different applications. They're also using suitable practices, like they said, to protect the crop from the harsh condition. We have the temporal and the permanent. So by doing this, we are seeing that farmers are not badly off. Those practices are helping them. And also they're helping other farmers. When you tell a farmer, a friend will come and visit him, it tells him the same information, and it's being disseminated across the region. Good enough, I'm happy that they're adapting them, and it's working.
About how many seedlings do you sell in planting season?
Planting season, we sell many. Like actually, we can sell between 450,000 to 700.
Wow. 1,000.
There are times we can also connect the people. We were able to do this because of the model that the Palladium made us to adapt. We adopted the model of satellite seedling nurseries, where we have a similar nursery in every corners of the region. Yeah. so that when you come from, say, Oyam, we already have a satellite nursery there. When you come from Minakulu, we have already a satellite nursery there. Even within Lira there, we also have. We have one in Adiel, we have one in Boke. Good enough this year, we have another satellite in Acholi.
What does satellite necessarily mean?
Satellite means that it is a Adag-Anii satellite, but outside our main center. It's a nursery outside our main center. Let me tell you the reason why we're doing that. You know, selling seedlings of cocoa is not just like any other trees. One, the people who are operating the nursery should know that cocoa seedlings is picked from a mature tree, which is 10 years and above, and that tree is called a seed bank. In the seed bank, the tree is identified within a farm. It will be a characteristic of, first of all, is 10 years and above. Secondly, is self-comfortable, meaning that he has not been suffering from diseases and pests, and also the yield is always high, and the quality of the pods are big. That is one. Then two, not all the seeds within the pods qualify to be planted as seedlings. The tip of it, you measure 90 degrees with a ruler. Then you cut the tip of it, you throw the seeds away. Then at the edge, the bottom, you also cut, you throw it away. Then you plant those ones in the middle, which are uniform and strong. So we have that quality at our center. But other people have also started putting those things without knowing. So we identify a place in the location far away from our center, and we call them a satellite of what we are doing. Then whenever we are getting our pods, we are the one who go and buy for them pods, then they plant. We also go and supervise them. Then all the records that they're planted, the farmers are all the records of the farmers, they submit it to us. Then we continue with the extension service and making follow-up and all the benefits that are needed by the farmers. Their farmers also what? Get it. Yeah.
You've mentioned palladium a couple of times. What does that support look like for Adag-Anii?
The palladium support is mainly technical support. And you know, if you don't know, the most important support is the technical or the knowledge dissemination support is very important. Then also, being a private company, you know, we don't have grant. If we are to go for either additional fund we should go for loan. But there are other activities like the field extension, then like the field extension, then like making sure that the satellite is working, palladium supports. Then also like profiling the farmers, the one who's supporting us. You know, profiling farmer, if you send extension worker in the field, just one day, the cost will be like 100,000. You see that? 100,000. Of which given 1,000 shillings we are getting from each seedlings, maintaining the running costs, maintaining it, we could not afford that. So they came in. Although their model is also they pay us after we are what? After we are done the work. So we can now spend the money on such activities, knowing that if we are stuck, the backup is coming from palladium.
So a lot of donor funding, you know what the climate is like right now. And we're seeing that agriculture programs are becoming less predictable when it comes to that kind of funding. How can cocoa farming and businesses like Adag-Anii remain sustainable and continue supporting farmers the way they have in the long term?
Okay, you know, with agribusiness, where you benefit from is the market. We are praying that the market should be sustainable and profitable, because without sustainability in the market and profitability in the market, of course, the company will be broke and all these ventures will drop down. Then also, we are urging the investors or the government to give us money we invest in processing some of these products. You know, when you're a processor, it's not like a producer. Actually, in the cocoa value chain, we have divided it into two. There's a primary value chain, which is the level from farm establishment up to the mark of taker, like the ICAM. That one, it entails like establishing where we are selling the seedlings and getting money, where we are selling the organic products to manage the farm, where we are doing the management, although our services is not being paid, and also where we then we off-take it to ICAM. That one we already reached the market. It's called the primary one. But the secondary one would involve like getting products out of cocoa. You know that cocoa can give like 52 products.
Uh-huh.
So we need to do a lot of research.
I just know chocolate and...
You know only chocolate.
and powder, the cocoa powder. What else?
There's cocoa butter.
Okay.
They're now making soap out of cocoa. They call it what the ass of the pods, called the cocoa tassa, other tassa, something like that. They're making soap out of it. They're making boucher out of it. They're making fertilizer out of it. They're making medicine out of it. You just Google health benefit of cocoa leaves. Instead of pruning and throwing them away, we just need to innovate a way of preserving them, and then we enter the market. There are good remedies for health benefit. So we need to do a lot of research to make sure that the secondary value chain of cocoa, we also benefit out of it.
Yeah.
So those are some of the things that need to be done so that the production is sustainable, profitability also sustainable. Yeah.
Wow, thank you so much, Paul. There's so much to learn. I don't know if you have anything else you'd like to add before we close that I haven't asked you about that you think is important.
Yeah. As we work, as people who are working in the field, we have met challenges also. And the challenges at the farmers level, this is what we have seen, and we want other people, not only us, to see it accurately so that we can help the farmers. There are three challenges that farmers are facing on establishing a cocoa in the first year. And these, we try to quantify them. Like if you see a farm that has failed, you'll see that 50% of the failure is the result of farmer practice. He has planted it badly, he has not maintained it, there are a lot of weeds, there are a lot of what. So it means that we need to emphasize on the training of farmers and making sure that they do the right thing in the second P.
Where do I send farmers for training?
We normally follow farmers, and also we normally call them. We normally call them our demonstration plot where you went last time. That is where we do the training.
But if I'm not in Lango, if I'm doing my cocoa farm here in Kampala, somewhere, where do I go for training?
You can, I can recommend Mr. Fabio is here, or we can even come for that. By the way, the village model is being done in Mukono. They're starting to do in Mukono, and tomorrow I'm going to meet those people, which means that we're also coming to start doing the thing here.
Wow, okay.
Then the second one we got is a factor that is making farmers to fail is the drought, which is the climate change. That is affecting 30% of the failures as a result of the drought. But if a farmer is doing a right practice, there are farmers that have survived. I tell you, we got a farmer in a patch. Out of 500 cocoa seedlings it took, he lost only one. And the one he lost was as a result of animals stepping on it. So if you concentrate, you make sure that you are doing even bottle irrigation. Huh? There's a modern way now they do it. You bury the bottle down and you keep putting the water. It also works perfectly. Then the third one, 20% is the pest, mainly the cutworm, the termites. During dry season, they like it so much. You know, the cocoa stem is, I think, sweet is nice to them. So you make sure that you also control the pest, mainly the termites. You control it organically. You don't go for this whatever striker and the rest. You go for it. And in our region right now, we have discovered, you know, the shea nut.
Yes.
When you produce the shea butter out of the shea nut, there's a remain. You know, for it, you roast it. After roasting, then you pound it to paste. After pounding to paste, you boil it with the water. Then the butter will float up. You remove the butter. Then that remain down there. It can be used for fighting termites. So we're now confirming, and it's working. So some of these things need to be exposed to the farmers so that they can start using, we call it sustainable way of managing pests and the rest. So that is what I wanted people to know. Out of our research, 50% of failures is due to farmers' practice.
Drought.
Drought. Then the drought is 30%. Then the pest is 20%.
You've spoken about the pest that attacks the stem. What of the leaves?
The leaves are, okay, we have aphid, but aphid controlling is very easy. You just mix the ash with the water, then you shake it, you make it settle. After settling, then you pour the water, and then you spray it. The aphid will go away, will die. Actually, the ratio is that, you know, the nice cup, you put 1.5 in 10 liter of water, then you shake it, leave it for about 10 or 15 minutes. The water will float, the ash will settle down. Then you pour in the spray knapsack, then you go and spray with it. It goes. There are other pests like the caterpillar. That one you can go for neem site or eco-neem. Neem site, I think, is made out of neem tree. It is organic pesticide. That product, I think, is for also chemicals. Then there's eco-neem. That one is either Balton, or those are organic. And we normally tell our farmers that when you are having any challenge in your field, before taking any action, you need to call us. They have our numbers. They normally call, and we advise them accordingly. I think that is why they're registering very good success in the field. Yep.
Thank you so much, Paul.